Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's take a moment of silence. I lost somebody I knew, so we're just gonna take a moment of silence for a few seconds and we'll start. Okay, we'll start. All right. Legislator Daley.
Here. Yep.
A hard question.
Heidi.
Present.
Hans. Mark.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're all here. Okay. Can I get a motion for the minutes on July 10th, 2025?
Move to approve. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I want to start this, I'm gonna jump to, I believe is GO2. And that is authorizing acting county clerk to fill the position of deputy clerk 1, GO2. And I want to start off with a statement. Okay, early this week, and I'm gonna read some of this, but some of this stuff I'm gonna paraphrase. Earlier this week, I read the newspaper and I decided to make some changes. First of all, I want to sincerely apologize to Shelley Patterson, who is our acting clerk at this point, and Christine Lytle, who was expressed interest in the position as well. I apologize for not reaching out to the both of you. I wish I had. Shelley, I want to thank you for stepping up in a time where we really needed a clerk and being brave enough to step up and help this county out, plus your 15 years of dedication to this county. I want to thank you. Is it 15 years? 13? Okay, well, 13 years.
Seems like 50. Yeah.
I gave you 2 more years, okay? I want to thank you. You should have been informed of any changes or any, and also the resolution prior. There was some miscommunication. As I spoke to you yesterday, I realized I felt there were some misunderstandings. And I don't believe there was any harm intended. But I do recognize it had an impact on you and your family, and I am truly sorry. Christine, I also want to thank you for stepping up as well, and wanting this position. Hopefully you still want it in the future. Okay, all right. This is not your fault either. I want to take full responsibility as a legislator and to break down the communication because I'm the oversight chair. As an oversight chair, I relied on some hearsay and rather than fulfill my responsibility as a leader, and I should have came to both of you and asked you guys what your intentions were. And even though I wasn't directly involved, I should have been directly involved in speaking to the both of you. In these unprecedented times, as we navigate through uncharted territories, we must admit when and accept criticism when communication fails and mistakes are made. And it's not easy for a legislator to sit up here and say they're sorry and they were wrong. It's not easy for me because those comments could be used against me in my next election and the public could take it and run with it in the media. But as the oversight chair, I should have came and asked the both of you what your desires were to come up with a strategic plan. I also want to say that it prompted me to pull this current resolution as it stands right now. And I will bring this resolution back when both parties agree on the change and how it's going to be implemented. And I'll bring it back and I will support that. If any other legislator brings it up prior to that, they won't have my support. Because I want to have the communication come from both of you so we're all on the same page. You guys worked together for many years as a team. And I want to keep that continuity as any transfer of power. Also, is the chair of the government ops, I would like to, if any of the people, any of the departments under the government ops chairs while I'm chair, or any other legislators have any concerns or anything, we talked about possibly relocation to DMV, other subjects. I want to be involved deeply in those conversations in the beginning. That's just a request. So again, you have we owe you more. We need to do better. We will do better with the communication, but nobody meant any harm in it. However, it should have been discussed. And I'm of all of the 11 legislators, I'm taking full responsibility. Okay. So that being said, we'll start with our agenda.
You.
Thank you.
Yep. I'll sign that for you.
Not bad for me. All right, Sheila,
Yes,
anything to report?
I had a lot of foils this month. And, keep working on them. I have one resolution for the vehicle policy that's been updated. And just want to let you reminder that the next meeting is at the Lock Firehouse. That will be at 6 o'clock. And the September meeting will be at Sterling Nature Center, and that will be at 4 o'clock.
Good, thank you. Is that it? Any questions for Sheila?
Want to do the resolution?
Well, I was gonna hold off to the end, but we can do it. Now, let's do it now.
I just got a question.
Heidi,
Do you know if at Locke and if at Sterling will be able to have public access?
In Lock again, for sure, I know that.
Both places?
Both places are, we just tested the Lock Fire Department today. Sterling, we already have Starlink internet connectivity over there, so.
Great, thank you.
so you want to read the resolution? You don't have to read the whole thing.
It's just amending the Cayuga County vehicle policy. We had some updates we wanted to put in as far as like when people have accidents, how they need to report them, who it needs to go to, that type of thing.
Okay,
I do have a question. I guess I'm curious, what's your plan to disseminate this so that we don't end up with a policy that no one's aware of or these
It gets
changes
posted
are
on the
there?
web, and it also, once it's approved at the ledge meeting, it will be emailed to all departments.
And the expectation is they make it,
They need to discuss it with their employees, especially anybody that drives a vehicle. That's their responsibility.
I mean, I would suggest if you're going to do that, that maybe you would highlight that here's the updated policy and there are, please understand there are changes on how to report
We
accidents.
can send the one with the updates on it.
Yes, okay, highlighted. Yep, okay. And your expectation is they'll share it with all their staff.
They are at the with all
Yep.
that. Thanks, Reed.
May I speak?
Oh, there's only-
Sure.
May I speak?
Yeah.
Okay. So regarding that policy, the process for policies as well is it includes a whole team
Okay.
that are affiliated with the policy. So that includes all department heads. So all the proposed revisions were shared with them, as well as because it can be a little cumbersome with all the revisions, they get a clean copy of the proposed revised. And we discussed it at the department head meeting. So they're fully aware of what
Okay.
the proposed revisions are. And yeah, Sheila is correct. They are expected to review that with their staff.
Yep.
And relative to who is operating the county vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can I get a motion for Sheila?
Move it.
Oh, second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any no's?
Not a no, just a comment or a question.
Discussion, yes.
On the first page, under objective, in the third paragraph, it refers to, and what I think is brand new, and that is that any request for a vehicle that someone's going to use at home for the purposes of early morning, leaving for a conference, et cetera. That request would go to the department head. There's a form that's provided in writing, and then it gets approved by the legislative chair. I'm just wondering if that's going to be cumbersome, because sometimes, I mean, I know that I have had department heads come to me the day before to say, so-and-so needs to get over to such and such. It's going to be easier for her to leave from home at 6 a.m. This was an incident that just occurred. Do we feel that like that's going to be cumbersome for the chair and the department heads to actually fulfill that? It's about really, can we fulfill that realistically? So it's just a question. I know we voted and agreed on it, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Do you have any thoughts about that? Anybody from the,
I think your point is the last thing we want to do is have a policy that can't be implemented.
Yeah.
Right. And a chairperson who's overwhelmed with what is pretty minor paperwork could stack up.
We can amend that. Dreams?
Hey, Steve, I know I'm like over here, sorry. I probably should have sat over there, I came over here. So pertaining to this, I guess what we could do is leave it as is and evaluate it based on demand and how much it actually is used. Can we try that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to get that sense out there to look at it. Perfect.
Okay, do we include the vote? Okay, all right. So I jumped over Keith, my son, who is Bryce, who's a big, loves politics, is a big fan of Keith Batman. He said, not only is he cool, he has a cool name. That's what Bryce says. All right, so Keith, you have a resolution and you want to go over your report as well?
Yeah, I think this report is self-explanatory unless someone has a question. So we do have a resolution to accept some grant money. It was anticipated, so it's in the budget. It's just a matter of getting approval to sign the paperwork.
I'll move GO1.
Thank you.
We get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, is there any,
Well, just briefly, we haven't really talked about the county people's office in some time. We did think we had a candidate in the line who had asked not to start until January 1, but has since withdrawn. So we really have no bites and nothing on the horizon in terms of returning to full status. So we have to redouble our recruiting efforts and whatever. The workload certainly hasn't gone down. DSS does have the candidates coming on board September. That'll give them some relief, but we're still handling some cases for DSS. That's where we are.
I was curious what happened with the candidate that was potentially interested in coming. And
Her decision was to stay where she was. Yeah, project she was working on didn't feel that she could transfer.
okay, all right. Anything else? Lawyer's office? All right. Shelley, you want to speak at all? Anything to say?
Yeah, we're just, our office is very busy, being open to the public now. We have a lot of the abstractors coming in, every day working. A lot of people coming in doing filings, and a lot of researchers during the summertime are coming in and doing our building systems. Other than that, we're just working on a lot of cross training, resuming back scanning projects. We're just at that busy summertime season.
Okay, we appreciate your dedication and hard work.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
The Dreams Project, you make note of that. We're in year 4. And when that finalizes, then all the documents will be scanned. I mean, digitalized. What happens next?
We asked my go, he couldn't make it tonight,
Uh-huh.
but, if you can certainly reach out to him, or I can have him reach out to answer those questions better.
Okay, you're on track to get,
Everything is on track. He's very happy with everything is at this point.
Okay.
For the Dreams project, like I said, the clerk's office has its own scanning progress in-house, but the Dreams project itself, he's very happy. It's exactly what it's at. Okay, it's excellent. Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
I just wanted to visualize, like, you noted that there's 800 cubic feet of historic documents, things we have to keep because they're too precious to go through the digitizing stage. What does 800 cubic feet look for us for in terms of the storage one? Or using it?
Well,
I have not been.
Anybody know?
Yeah, cubic foot is, a foot wide, yeah.
Yeah,
Square.
may I understand what a
800
cubic
of
foot
them?
is? I'm just looking at like, what is a typical room size? Is that typical to 8,
And there's
10?
Quarter of this room?
coming up.
quarter of the room.
Quarter of the room, ceiling to floor.
And that's what Chad's working on now, a lot of the things that we couldn't send away to the company, that's what he's doing in-house, all those stuff, anything delicate and stuff, he's doing the scanning himself.
Thank you.
All right. You know what? I do have a question for you. How, and Peter's here as well. How's everything going at the DMV? I know you guys are busy. I know you guys are crowded. I know you guys need a new building. I know you need new space, but how's the people that are coming in there and how are they receiving the services and all that at the Department of Motor Vehicle? Peter, everything good? Okay.
They love it.
I love it. All right.
Great customer service in New York State.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for all your hard work and dedication. Tom Bond.
Yes. So you have my report, but I did want to add just a couple updates for everybody. One being the data center relocation to Auburn Fire Department. That's underway. So we are currently right now working on the fiber connectivity portion of the project. That has started. So we now have connectivity from Auburn Fire to the public safety building. And now we're focusing on some of the downtown efforts, trying to get in some of the more historic buildings. And so that's going to probably add a little bit of delay to the project, but we're going to kind of chunk this out in phases. So I did want to talk about that a little bit. So the first part of the goal is to get internet connectivity to the fire department, and having that fiber established to the public safety building will now allow us to relocate that 911 equipment from Moscow Fire Department to the Auburn Fire Department. So that will kind of reestablish and get them better connectivity for the equipment they have. Of course, right now, there is a project with Motorola that the legislature authorized to provide additional dispatch consoles. That project is underway. Denise and I worked with Motorola as of yesterday to get an update. It looks like that equipment is going to be ready by October. That actually aligns with a portion of the fiber and infrastructure project as well. So it's looking like we can probably get that equipment moved over in the October timeframe.
The data center equipment or the night?
The 911 equipment out of Owasco Fire Department to, now that's just the existing equipment they have. We're not talking about the infrastructure from
From the county office, okay.
That's correct.
So in the interim of moving everything from the county office building to a new location.
Yep.
You're moving what's in the Owasco Fire Department with improved connectivity
Yeah.
to the fire department.
That's exactly right.
So that's the backup we have, and this will improve that service.
That will.
And you think that could be October?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that's the goal for that. As far as capping off or finishing the data center relocation, it's really dependent on the additional fiber work that has to happen downtown. But we're hoping October, November timeframe to finish that project as well. And then, we've been having discussions as far as the next phase of the infrastructure project for 911. So we're hoping to put together final figure and get a resolution in front of the legislature as soon as possible for that.
And if I can translate that, that means it's going to be costly to move the 911 stuff from the county office building. And that has to be determined how much and planned for
Correct.
before it can move.
That's correct.
I guess I should, is the basement itself, could the equipment be moved if we had the money to do it now by decontaminated and all that?
We're asking all those questions right now with the project manager with campus.
Okay,
So we're going through those conversations right now, but we're hopeful that it can be moved. It's not just the cost of moving all the equipment, but it's the configuration that has to be done. And then there's HVAC costs, there's electrical costs, there's data costs, there's other costs at Auburn Fire Department that have to be done to accommodate all of this equipment. But those are the costs that are involved in the project.
and the HVAC and all of that would be county responsibility since it's our equipment? That's part of the cost of moving it and retrofitting Auburn Fire Department, so it's safe and the equipment can be stored there?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there were questions about it the other night, and it is an expensive venture to move all of this, correct?
Correct.
And it has to be planned for and estimated and all of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've spent months on it, but with the project and, prices change, quotes change. We're just making sure we have the most accurate reflection of the costs as they sit today to get in front of you. So.
Tom, I do it.
Yes.
Good.
For Tom. Tom, I guess this is the place to ask. I've been told that we had a power issue or something, and the backup center down in the basement of the county office building went down over this past weekend for a day or two or whatever. Did we ever make any determination as to why that happened?
A final determination, no. It looks like that there was several brownouts. I'm not sure if it had to do with some of the gathering that the city had, downtown over the weekend. We're really not sure, but basically, there's a couple things that are at play here, and one was a failure of the UPS system. So we had the vendor come in, we did perform some maintenance on the UPS. So hopefully, if this happens again, we'll be protected by that system. Because the UPS failed, it caused some power issues within the equipment itself. So we're confident that that's not going to happen again as far as that goes, but the building's unpredictable at this point. There's so many different environmental factors that could happen in there. We just don't know what could happen next, to be honest with you.
So I'm told, and I don't know, that's why I'm asking. We may have damaged some equipment due to these. And we won't know the extent of the damage, if any, until we can extract those out of the basement, have them decontaminated, and then there has to be some tests or whatever run. Is that correct?
That's accurate. So there were some dispatch consoles in the backup 911 center that are not powering on. Myself and a couple of my staff attempted to troubleshoot. We can't get them powered on. Motorola wants to try a few things. So yes, the idea would be to get the equipment out of there, properly decontaminate it, and provide it to them off-site so that they can perform some troubleshooting and hopefully get those online with hopefully like a inexpensive hardware swap out, like a power supply or something like that.
We have a time frame. Has anybody looked at, when we're going to, in theory, everything should be okay. But the longer that stuff sets down there, not being used, not being checked on, whatever you want to call it. Are we in the process of trying to get all that stuff out of there?
Yes, we are. Priority.
And you've said before, to your point, the sooner the better,
Yeah.
right? You've been saying that for the data center and this.
Absolutely.
So what is the so I guess my question is, what's the delay in moving that stuff out? Is it manpower? Is it money? Is it a place to put the stuff? I don't understand, so that's why I'm asking.
Yep. Full transparency, we had internal meetings and it was asked to be paused. I think it was financial. I don't know the full answer to that question, but that was back in June. I had a resolution prepared to bring forward and it was paused.
By the chair or the legislature?
By the chair.
The chair. And
It would be millions of dollars?
Yes,
Millions,
at least 1 million.
at least, okay.
I'm told that one console is pretty expensive.
Dispatch consoles are very expensive, yes.
And we have 5 or 6 of them down there.
6 of them, 6 figures a piece.
I think that priority should be upped to the top of the list. In my opinion,
I agree with you.
You'll get no, you'll get no fight from you, right?
Can I, make a suggestion is that if all possible, Mark, you and me and Tom can meet and discuss what that looks like.
sure.
Okay.
Go back to Jan.
Yeah, so we'll, if you wanna like get our together and we'll figure out. The other question I had, what is, you said UPS, like what's the UPS?
It's an uninterruptible power supply. So what that is, there's a piece of equipment that sits between street power and our equipment. So if there's an issue where we lose power, it's a battery backup unit that keeps the equipment alive in the interim. pretty
Okay.
much.
Tom, I know sometimes brownouts are worse than power surges. Would that compensate for a brownout? 'Cause a brownout really is just a fluctuation or a reduction in power. Would that kind of, or no?
Oh, I wish I could tell you the actual event that occurred in the space. All I know is by the time I got the call, I walked in, we were back on street power and there was equipment that was down and this was like 7 PM on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess my point is brownouts potentially are more damaging than
Yeah.
power surges.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Protected against those, but for brownouts, I don't know if there's,
In theory, the UPS should be able to handle a brownout just as well, but again, when there was an issue with the UPS.
Is a brownout like a surge?
No.
Surge?
No.
Or
Just the opposite.
Shut down. It's a dead.
I don't know.
it's a reduction, Brian. It's a reduction in power
Reduction.
and a fluctuation. So,
That's more damaging, you think?
I've lost equipment from brownouts, yeah.
And I never heard of it.
There was a,
Do we have a warranty on the UPS?
Yes. Yep. The vendor was in on Monday to address the issue.
Yeah, I mean,
This may be
we do have a lawyer, we do have a warranty.
Eddie's got it.
so it may be coincidental, but there were brownouts on East Genesee Street Road and the neighborhoods beyond that for many hours on the same on the same weekend, the same time. So,
Thank you,
you know,
Mr. Chairman.
depending on how the grid flows, and it was definitely Genesee Street just going east and out of the city.
Wow.
Those things are unpredictable, unfortunately, and it's just up to us to make sure that we have the proper equipment to protect our equipment, so.
And Tom, I would encourage you to, I'm free next week, check with Mark's schedule if he wants to.
Yeah, just let me know so I can plan my schedule.
Yeah, and we can get together.
Yep.
If you want to coordinate, that'd be easier.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I guess with all due respect, with the
Any other legislators want to join too?
911 system, no. I don't feel where that falls under government ops.
Okay. I am a legislator.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, maybe just the IT piece, but you think there should be a role for someone.
I mean, the 911 center falls under GPS.
Yes.
And, all the questions that you're asking and Tom is answering, I know they're
So,
not questions that haven't been asked already, and they're being addressed and through Tom's department, the 911 center, they are pursuing the different avenues that need to be looked at.
yeah, so here's what I think would be best is, I don't know the rules as far as having a quorum, we're all together, or whatever, but if anybody wants to meet with Tom, I'm sure Tom's will be, accommodating to any legislator. The reason why I invited Mark, because Mark was thinking the exact same thing that I was thinking, and I wanted to bring it up to him. So, but other than that, I'm sure we're all welcome to ask questions and we can answer them in this format, publicly, or we can meet with them privately But I'm gonna meet with Tom because I wanna know the ins and outs, so.
I fully agree.
If you wanna come with us, you can come with us,
As
or
far as the direction of the 911 center, what's going on?
yeah,
Yeah, that should be handled up through JPS.
yeah, I agree with you, I agree with you. So it's something maybe we all can collectively just hear about and whatever, we can decide that, but Tom, you got everybody's email and everything, so send it out there and we'll all get with you, all right?
Sounds
I
good.
think you made a little progress today by even talking about it, that now it's on everybody's radar. All right, so we appreciate you,
Absolutely.
all right?
Just one other item, to follow up on the Dreams project. I did speak with Michael on Monday. So as we're finalizing the entirety of the project, the next step is we're gonna be working collaboratively with department heads to take it to the next step, which is utilizing e-workflows and some of the automated functionality behind Laserfiche and the digitization project, so that now we can start identifying paper processes and convert them into the system to utilize this going forward, so that we're not creating more paper down the road. So this is, we're gonna try to turn this not only into a scanning project, but make it a cost savings to the county long term.
That was the goal all along, that other departments would be getting involved in all of this,
That's correct.
and that's the stage now.
Yep. Michael's met with all of the departments and they've, digitized their current paper, but we're trying to reduce the footprint on the physical paper going forward.
Anything else for Tom? Thank you. Hey, Kevin?
Hi there.
How you
You all
doing?
right?
Good, I gotta tell you, man, just reading your report all the time, you're really out in the community and I'm sure all the veterans appreciate it. I see you all the time downtown with roller skates on, running up and down the street, so. I appreciate it. I know you're out there doing everything you can to support these veterans and I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, I tried to get around. Really big thing this month was I went down to Moravia for the fair down there and spent not the whole night, but significant chunks of time at the fair and ran into quite a few veterans. We were handing out farmers market coupons and I hadn't spent as much time down there as I wanted to. Last year we did Fillmore Days, but I wanted to transition to the fair because they didn't have the fair last year. So that was a good event for us. Also, I got to thank Office for the Aging because they set up a bunch of farmers market coupon distribution. They've got a different type of farmers market coupon than we do, but we teamed with them at different locations around the county. So if they have obviously senior citizen coupons, and then if they're a veteran, they were sending them down to us where we could give them an additional amount for veterans as well. So Office for the Aging tolerated us in that respect. So yes, we've been getting around. We've got some more things planned for the future here. We're teaming with New York Department of Homeland and Emergency Services. They've got some emergency preparedness training. We're trying to incentivize veterans to attend here in Auburn, and there's also one up in Fairhaven coming up in September. There's a group that's doing a barbecue for veterans up in Weedsport at the Speedway in September. I wasn't able to attend that whole event last year because I was actually down at Fillmore Days. I drove up and caught the end of it, but they had a pretty good turnout. So we're going to spend the whole time there in September as well. And it pays dividends because we are finding veterans who aren't aware of benefits and putting them in. One recent development was we found the widow of a Vietnam veteran who had died, and we put her in for what's called dependent indemnity compensation. We just got the final decision on that. She is now eligible and will be receiving a monthly payment because of that. So it's important to get out there because people aren't always aware of their benefits until they start talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. Any questions for Kevin? Thank you, Kevin.
Have a good evening.
All right, before we close, I just want to remind everybody, GO2 was pulled. And again, my sincere apologies. And this resolution will have my support to you guys unanimously agree on a process and preparing us to move forward, okay? So with that being said, can I get a motion?
Move it.
Second?
Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Right.
Planning, 5 minutes, some planning.
Tom will join us when he's through. I entertain a motion for, we do have a quorum. I'll entertain a motion for the minutes of July 10th, 2025.
I'll move them.
Thank you. And a second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have one appointment for Cayuga County Public Utility Service Agency of Joe Kinsella. I've vetted Joe. He is a retired attorney, dealt with energy projects. And it's not on his sheet. I didn't ask him for a resume. But he is well qualified and should be a tremendous asset to the utility, so. And that'll be the end of the month. With that being said, there are no presentations and we will go to Carrie for planning.
Okay, I keep this brief. I've got a couple highlights for you for my report. We're following up with our towns and villages for the county infrastructure grant program. We haven't received any applications in yet or project ideas yet. Deadline's tomorrow, so we'll kind of push them all again to see what we can get. As you see this month, and there'll be one next month, we're continuing to add some smaller town and village projects as those requests come in. That's helping us get to our revenue projections, which is great. NYSERDA, the Clean Energy Community Grant, that project is finally moving forward at a rapid pace. There's a resolution tonight that Doug is bringing. He'll talk a little bit more about it for the charging stations. Emily's been working really hard on that with Amanda and our folks at Regional Planning. I do have a resolution tonight. We had a very good bid opening, great proposal submitted for the BOA. Countywide BOA project. So we have a resolution tonight to award that contract. And then lastly, talking about grants for some assistance that we've provided to Doug and are providing. We did get word the other day, and I'll let Doug answer any detailed questions you might have. That the grant that my planner, Nathaniel Rogers, helped write for him from Environmental Facilities Corporation was actually awarded in the full amount requested. So that's great news. And Evans Hill is helping him right now on another BRICS grant to hopefully get some money for the bridge over on Doble Island that we did not get money for from Northern Border.
That was going to be the millions.
Yes. So hustling to try to find other avenues to get that. That's all I have unless there's questions on anything in my report.
Pretty lengthy. Your resolution, Carrie?
Sure. So again, this is to award the contract for consultant services for the full 160,000 of our grant award for consultant services for the BOA project to Fisher Associates. Amanda O'Grady, thanks again for coordinating everything for that RFP and the bid process and opening. Her and Nathaniel and I reviewed all the bids, scored everything, and Fisher had by far the best proposal meeting our needs for the grant. Came right in on budget. They're going to exceed our MWBE requirements with the state, which is always great. And their scope is right on what we need them to do.
Could you go over what is their, again, I ask you what is their role?
So their role is actually to do all of the analysis and report and information gathering, essentially phase one environmental assessments of known and suspected contaminated sites countywide minus the city, because the city already did their brownfield opportunity.
Because the sites have already been identified?
We gave them a preliminary list,
Okay.
so they're going to take our list and add that to their investigation that they're going to do.
Oh, okay.
The task force that, once again, thanks to Tom, who's going to sit on, will then take that report and that information. We'll have some public meetings and we will narrow down and come up with a priority list. that priority list is then what we'll use to be able to get some funding, hopefully to clean up some of those sites, make them redevelopment ready.
You'll figure out which are the most appropriate sites to actually invest in.
Yes, yes, that's part of the work that they'll be doing.
Okay.
I'll move it.
Jill, Bill two, on a second? On a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried, thank you. Okay. You know.
Next, good evening. You have my report. I do have a couple of updates that are not encompassed in that. The first one, which I'm really excited about, we've been watching for the YEP funds to come back through. Cayuga County received a large allocation this past year for the youth employment program through the GIVE initiative. We are fortunate enough to find out today that we're going to receive the second round. So we'll be funded again, 25, 26, receiving a higher allocation. So we're receiving about $414,000. We received $401,000 last September. So that really will offset the increase in minimum wage because our youth make minimum wage and the rate is going up in January to $16 an hour. So really the difference kind of offsets that, but so happy that that's coming through. Christine and Jen will accept the funds and do a resolution. You'll see that coming forth, soon. And then we'll continue the UP program. So I couldn't be happier about that. Another update that's not in my report, the business steering committee for Micron has kind of resumed this week, was my first meeting that we haven't had that in a couple of years. Dave Gould is chairing that committee and I will be continuing to chair the workforce subcommittee as part of that. So I will reevaluate the membership of my committee that I had a couple of years ago, kind of refine it. It was large. We don't really need it to be that big. So I'm going to just rethink the membership and priority and kind of go from there. So more to come on that. Those are my two updates that are not in my report. And I do have a resolution for tonight. Okay, so it's PL1 resolution to accept Perkins funds into my budget. Apparently, the Cayuga Cortland Workforce Development Board received some Perkins funds. It's old money that dated back from what I understand, 2005, 2009, funds that just need to be spent. So that $20,200 was funneled through to Cayuga County and goes into my budget to be able to enhance workforce activities through this year.
Move it.
Second. Awesome. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to highlight some statistics from our 4-H youth fair that we wrapped up about 10 days ago now. We had 85 4-H participants that exhibited over 600 projects. So that includes all the animals and everything that they did throughout the year, woodworking, photography. We had a couple kids who exhibited their various insects that they keep and take care of, like Madagascar missing cockroaches. Those kids are really into that, so it's a little different, but they do a good job with it. And we had over 250 animals that were shown and 50 different market livestock projects. So want to thank the legislators that were able to come out and spend some time with us. And we do have a new winner for our elected officials show, Mark.
But you weren't going there. Jeez.
Mark won and took the crown from the sheriff after a couple of years. The other thing that's not in my report, just happened today, we're officially now on the drought map. As you probably noticed, a little bit dry out there. And at the point where it's probably gonna have some impact on yields between kind of going from having too much water early in the season, crops being planted too late. Some of those late planted crops could really use a good soaking here in the next few days, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get that, so. But we'll continue to help support our farmers through that. Any questions?
No, I think the other night at JPS, we gave kudos to Mr. Thomas for hanging on, basically.
Yeah.
And he earned the trophy. I don't know if anybody else. So,
Yeah,
you don't have any resolution?
no resolution.
Any questions for Dan? Thank you. Okay, no report from Clyde, not on. Doug.
Good evening, everyone. A couple things that I will review, as Carrie had mentioned. We did receive an EFC funded grant, Environmental Facilities Corporation funded grant. That's to do a sewer study here within the park, to look at all of our sewer system here, do an effluent study. It was suggested, and we had some questions from the town of Owasco about effluent, so we're in the process of doing that. They have their own RFQ process, so it'll be involved. It'll be interesting to go through, but they have a process for selecting engineers because it's state funded. They have their very own specific purchasing policy that we'll follow in order to get an engineering firm to come in and do the research that we want. And then the output from that is actually funded by the grants. The reporting is funded by the grant. We also mentioned there are two that we've been offered by the ESD to come in and apply for. One of them is a New York Bricks program that in Evan's office, in Carrie's office.
New York what?
It's called New York Bricks.
Bricks.
Like literally bricks. A construction grant that is really targeted for playgrounds, infrastructure like that. So there's an opportunity to apply for that grant, which we would use matching funds from the Capital H 2102 that was set aside for Deauville Island redevelopment. There are still funds available in that. So those are also in process. And then in one of my resolutions is another grant that I worked extensively with the planning department from. We had another car show. We had the great race over the weekend. Every time we have those big events, I always give a shout out to our law enforcement partners. They always do a great job, as well as, our internal staff that helps them all prepare. The great race put on race again this year. So we obviously continue to produce those. Concert tonight. So when you're done here, there's lots of food trucks out there. Just roll out on the island. You can get dinner. Good band tonight. It'll be a big crowd. I'm sure that continues through the end of August. Lots of other programming going on both at the Sterling Nature Center and here, but if there are any questions on my report, I'd be happy to answer them.
Busy. Excuse me. Doug, I want to talk about your resolutions. PL3. I know, is that the board's preference to go back with carpet in two of the rooms?
That was the museum boards.
Museum board would prefer going back with carpet. Okay, I was gonna, thought about pulling this, but I want to be sure that going forward, does this pays prevailing wage, right, for the replacement of it? And is that taken care of in the bids?
It is represented in the quotes that we had, but if you'd like us to look at other more resilient materials, we could.
No, it's not this board's decision really, if that's what the museum wants to do. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
There's 6 to 1, half dozen the other either way, but I just want to be sure that we don't leave any open areas not adhering to the prevailing wage at the county.
I guess I was curious when you talk about other resilient materials. I mean, this carpet definitely has taken a beating.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's what you were asking, whether you had looked at other floorings or any other things, or you just went right back to carpet or.
So the museum board just put together the quotes based on what was here.
Okay.
And it wasn't really, I never really asked the question. It wasn't really looking at other resilient floors, but we obviously could. I mean, the material that's here isn't going anywhere. So if that's something that we want to look at, that's.
I'm not wondering if that might be a better path, with other resilient materials, they're slipperier. I mean, at least if you come into the carpet, it's not as slippery. It doesn't wear as well, but I mean, and
I think the thought was just a direct replacement of what's happening now. I think that's probably where it came from.
Yes, sir.
Being on the museum board, basically, Tim went out, the director went out and got bids from several different people and recommendations, and basically, that's what we're dealing with right now. The stands are just too big, looks pretty ugly, and the new thing will be carpet squares, okay? Which if an area gets soiled, you can pull it up and replace it with a similar one, if you can find it at that time.
Right, and their quotes include some spares to do that type of repair, to do spot repairs, so that they come in, 2x2, I believe most of them are 3x3, so you can take out different areas, and I think it was a direct replacement is really what they were.
I get it. I mean, there's pros and cons of each material, but I want to be sure that, I know you said Tim got the quotes, but I just want to be sure as a county, we were covered as far as paying prevailing wage.
Yeah, I'll check it again before we did any awarding, but yeah, sure.
I appreciate that. Okay.
I guess if your thought is replacing the carpet is the best investment to make, or when we're going to have a lot of wear on this building, I would assume for another few years.
You are. The most resilient finish would be to actually have all this carpet removed and have the concrete ground, similar to what we did at the Nature Center, but the process is probably 4 times as expensive as replacing the carpet. So that would be the ultimate, because there is concrete here. You could just finish the concrete and be done with it. And then you have a very resilient surface indefinitely. That doesn't require painting or anything like that, but that's a cost associated with that. So.
But if I'm hearing Hans correctly, the board went out and kind of already did the due diligence of what material, what to put in, and that's what they came back with and what their investigation is.
Right. And you're moving money within your budget into a line to try to accommodate this purchase.
And what is that?
Is that reflected in the resolution?
It is.
Marketing?
It's promotions. Yeah, it's promotions from here. It's promotions in specifically for the museum. Some of that obviously won't happen to do that project.
Okay.
Did we do the motions? We entertain a motion to PL3 and second?
Motion. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Gary, thank you. PL4?
So PL4 is rather extensive, and I appreciate all the work that Emily put in Carrie's office to put this together. This has to do with several different NYSERDA grants, clean energy community grants, and it's for the installation of charging stations here within Emerson Park. So it's actually 3 different dual ports, so it's actually 6 cars that could charge at one time. And it does come from 3 different grant funding, and all of those grants are able to cover the entire cost of the project, which is $129,465. The third whereas lays out the different grants that are available for this. Some of these were sourced for several projects around the county, not just for our use here, but we are taking advantage of them as we can. And so the 4 items in the third whereas delineate how they can be paid for or make ready incentives that brings the power in. The NYSERDA ZEV program is also eligible for charging station chargebacks. Included in that is also federal alternative fuel vehicle refueling tax credit. So that's a tax credit that we get. That comes on Form 8911. That's actually funds that we get back. And then there is a net cost after that that's also covered by the Clean Energy Communities grant. It is important to note that it also covers the software support for those for the next several years too, because that is an ongoing cost when you install these. We are currently using the charge point stations that are suggested and will be used for this up at the Sterling Nature Center. They function very well. We wouldn't have to add another vendor to do that. And it would actually just show up on our current dashboard that we're currently using to manage the stations up at the Nature Center.
And Doug, I'll just anticipating your question, it's not in the resolution, but as you guys might recall from when we applied, our department actually has an expense and a revenue line to accommodate this entire project will be on this 129. Because there was a solar component that we will get to after the charging station. So this, we have those accounts already set up through my department. Just in case.
And do you have any charging stations here now?
No.
None. This would be the first
Yep.
of
Don't
them.
have any in the park right now.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. All in favor?
All right.
Move it.
I'll move it.
Second?
Thanks.
Now we're all in favor.
All right.
Keep me straight. All right. Any opposed? Okay, PL 4 carried. Thank you,
Thank you.
Doug. Karen?
All righty, well, hello, thank you. You've got my report. I did want to point out something fun from the grants and finance. As you know, we've been beneficiaries through the region of a couple of different EDA grants. One of them was to position the Finger Lakes region as an outdoor experience. We've been running some fantastic, beautifully well-edited, stewardship-based ads of videos on this. They've been based on hiking, biking, paddling, fishing, and slow travel. Fishing has outperformed many of the other ads, which positions us very good because us as Cayuga County have been talking about fishing for a long time. We have a great tourism ambassador who provides us fishing because nobody in the office is an expert, so we get the information from the experts. And we put out quarterly blogs on where to fish, what the best bait is, what the best tools, whatever you call all that stuff. And we've gathered some pretty good assets. So knowing that these eyes are out on the area, we've amped up our fishing outreach and engagement. We just sent out a public relations lead, and we had a couple of writers reach out to us like, hey, I really want to do more on this. Can you hook me up with a couple of marinas and boat charter captains and such? So hopefully we'll be getting them into publications through all this activity. So this is one of the ways that we call it trickle-down effect. You know, all this money went to the region, but because we're in those rooms, we're able to figure out what's going on and make sure that our content gets elevated and our partners benefit from it. So that was a lot of fun. The other EDA grant that we've been part of is the Harry Tubman Underground Railroad Scenic Byway, and that was the 544-mile proposed byway from New York City all the way up to Hudson and then across the Erie Canal, passing Cayuga County, exiting in Niagara Falls. The phase one that's getting passed and is going to legislature, the corridor management plan is being submitted to the Department of Transportation tomorrow, which means that's a big item off my back. Legislation is supposed to go into the state in January, and Senator May has agreed to champion that legislation so that Harry Tubman's chosen hometown in Cayuga County once again can rise to the top of those conversations as well. So I'm very glad the way those have worked out. The other big one on here I want to mention is the accessible travel. Wheel the World is an organization that's been in my report for a while, so I'm sure you've heard me talk about it, that goes to a location and vets it. This is not ADA vetting, passing, but kind of sees how accessible is the location for a variety of accessibility needs. And they provide a report to our partners. I've been reached out by several of our partners saying this was a fantastic program. Thank you so much for getting us on this. We're so excited. And this positions them better for when they apply for grants. They have this report that says this is where they excel, this where it can be improved. So they're more likely to get support, and we're looking forward to helping them along that journey. I provided you the full list as it stood when I provided the contract, the report. Many of these have since been finished and updated. I assume when you get the report digitally, you can click on all the links that I provide for you. So you're able to see these things live on there. The other links that I provided is a series of reports that our office has been working on to position our destination as a thought leader in all of the things that we're doing. So we've been getting some awards and recognitions, and our partners, of course, benefit from all that. Once again, the links are in the digital report when I present it. Hopefully you get that. If not, reach out to me and I can send them to you via email for you to be able to see all that. And the last thing that I'll point out from my report is where Kara stands up and says, we are good, we are cool, we're a fantastic organization. We are not a budget line item in the legislature. The legislature does not provide us any money out of your budget. We raise our own budget by raising the number of people that come here, and that's the occupancy tax. I think a couple of you have seen this report previously, but I'm going to distribute it just in case you have it. This gives you a kind of high-level view of who we are, what we do, but more specifically talking about the programs that we run. The current proposal of reducing an additional 20% from our budget will have significant impact on the operations of our office and how we can operate. Some of the programs that I can tell you are probably most likely going to go away, primarily because they're large lump sums, are things that greatly benefit not only the partners that we work with around the county, but the overall economic health of our county. Such as the event grant that we've been running for the last 3 to 4 years. We provide $2,000 per event to help our partners be more competitive in the market and draw more visitors to their events. Fundraising assistant. We have noticed specifically our nonprofit organizations, cultural historical sites, losing a lot of money recently. A lot of the grant programs have previously been available for them are no longer available. We have established through our advocacy committee working with a fundraising professional to provide an accelerator and incubator program for cultural historical sites that will assist them in being more financially sustainable so that they don't have to go for grants after grants after grants. This is another program that will likely have to go away. The third one is one that we haven't activated yet, but is part of our strategic plan. We have a new strategic plan that we just finalized for the 2025-2030. And that is a grant to help our destinations be visitor ready. And that would help them with things like marketing, things like docent training, education, signage. We're not working on capital grants. That's something that we are not experts in, so therefore we cannot manage those types of grants. But anything else that we can provide guidance and support in, those are the types of visitor readiness grants that we'll be working on. On that same note, this is our strategic plan. We are an organization that is well structured, well thought out. We know where we've been, we know where we're going. And I'll address the elephant in the room as well. I know I've resigned, but this is not a strategic plan developed by me. It was a strategic plan developed by the board of directors, which represents through diversity of industry and diversity of geography, our businesses around the entire county. So they're the ones that were engaged in this. They're the ones that developed this. They will be the ones that will guide the next director in executing this. So I just highly encourage you to please reconsider the 20% additional cut from our budget because it will have impact. Any questions?
Any questions for Karen? Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. And I'll leave a couple of these out and about too.
I think that takes care of all the business. Anybody else got any questions or discussion?
I want to ask Carrie, the new infrastructure grant, the one,
Right.
the calls for proposals, are you getting anything?
No, and that was what I said, when I was getting my report out. We haven't received it yet. You know, you'll see in my report, the deadline's tomorrow. So we'll be doing an additional
Okay.
follow-up and push with our towns and villages.
Do you suspect you'll see any?
I'm hoping we will. But we know that some of our housing development proposals are a little bit stalled based on electric grid capacity across the county, right? Big project in Weedsport can't move forward until that substation gets some major upgrades. $30+ million upgrade to the substation. Yeah, so I'm hoping that we'll get something, but we'll definitely be following up with everyone and pushing again. The state has not officially announced yet that that second round is open, so we have some time. We're just trying to get ahead of the curve.
I'm sorry if I may get up and say just one more thing based on everything that I said, which was a big number that I forgot to bring up. Our budget is approximately $9 million, and realize that $1 million that we generate brings the county $9 million in sales tax. That's a 9-to-1 return on investment, which could have a direct reverse investment if we cannot continue getting our name out there. So, consider the financially responsible organization that does give you a 9-to-1 return.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.